Hey, this is Carlos Noel with Pearson Smith Realty in Northern Virginia. Hey, I wanted to take a moment and show you, I guess, what I look at as a buyer agent when I'm walking through a home. I mean, you as a buyer, you know what you like, paint colors, floor plan, etc. That's your job to figure out what that is. What I do is actually I'm looking for problems. I mean, that's what I'm here for. Try to find out if I can find issues with the property, things that I can bring up to you as far as being concerns, and things that will help maintain the value of the home as a solid investment for you and your family. So let me show you what I do as a buyer agent and what I'm looking for with my own eyes. Okay, I'm here at a property. I just kind of want to show an example of what I do as far as a buyer agent and kind of some of the things that I like to start out with. Now, if I get here and it's a neighborhood that I know, I'll come straight to the property. But if it's a neighborhood that I'm new or haven't been to recently, I'll actually drive around, check for the clubhouse, look at some of the amenities the neighborhood has. So let me go ahead and start as if I'm with the buyers. Let me flip this. Okay, so the first thing I kind of do is I start from across the property. Okay, I look at the house from the street level, and the main thing, obviously, I'm looking at the roof to see if it's been replaced recently or new, if it needs anything. And this roof, as you can tell, is in pretty great shape, so nothing there. Secondly, I actually look at the neighborhood, the neighbors, because if the neighbors' homes aren't maintained, if there's issues with the neighbors' homes, that's also going to affect your value in the future. So obviously, everything's great, beautiful neighborhood, no issues there. So now let's go into the house. As I walk up to the house, I kind of just take a look around as far as the foundation, the brick, see if it's been power washed, see if there's any cracks or settling in the sidewalk. Okay, so the sidewalk looks good, but I do notice that that's a recent repair. Okay, I can tell by the grout there, but that's fine. It's been taken care of. At least they're thinking about it. Now, front door. Believe it or not, one of the things I look at is I look at the key locks. And as you can see here, apologize for my pointing, shows a little bit of a wear. And it's probably because this home faces the south. So since it faces the south, it's getting sun on it most of the day. As a matter of fact, if I point out there, you can see the sun is in that direction. And that's real important. A house that faces the south, typically for most homes in Northern Virginia, that means the primary bedroom is going to be in the back of the home. It's easier to heat a home than to cool a home. So in the summertime is what I'm thinking about. Okay, how is this home going to react in the summer? Since it faces the south, the primary bedroom is in the back. That means it's going to be cooler because the sun is not getting direct light on the windows or the rear of the home for most of the day. So that's good, in my opinion. I'll have to have the primary bedroom not facing the south because that's where it'll be hotter in the bedroom. Even if you have dual zone, it's something to think about because your cooling costs will be higher. Winter, I don't really worry about that much because heat rises. So the heat from the first floor is going to rise some to the main level anyway during the winter. So that's going to help all the bedrooms, okay? So that's my thought as far as the house and its orientation. So far so good. So when I come into a home, obviously if it's listed, I'm going to follow directions that are left by the listing agent. In this case, remove the shoes, so I'll do that. Usually that means a property has just been recently cleaned, carpeted, painted when they're asking to remove the shoes. They don't want the floors messed up, so we do respect that. All right, so coming in, obviously you can see the floor plan. Most homes built after 2000, they've gone to an open floor plan in most of these areas. Again, I apologize for my camera movement here. This is unedited. It's just me doing my normal thing. So as again, open floor plans, which means you basically can see from the front to the rear of the home pretty easily with the new floor plans today. This home is about 5,000 square feet. Well, actually closer to 5,300 square feet on all three levels. So it's a large home. So again, when I'm looking for, hey, have they replaced? These are not builder grade light fixtures. So I know the homeowner has upgraded the light fixtures and added ceiling fans. When I come into each room, what I do is I look at the walls for scratches, dents, anything that can show water protrusion. Since this home has a porch, you don't typically will have water entering on the front or main level of the home. So again, no water leaks. That's something I'm looking for when I'm walking into a home. Second thing, the windows. Sometimes you'll have windows, the seals will actually have been cracked or compromised, and then you'll see a haze within the glass. No such problem with this home, okay? But that's what I'm looking for. So as you're walking through the home, checking out sizes of the rooms, whether it's going to fit your furniture, these are the things that I'm thinking of while I'm walking through the property, okay? All right, so far so good. As I said, walking through the property, don't see anything that would be of an alarm to me. Now we're heading to the kitchen area. Since most homes, you as a buyer are going to get a home inspection, rarely do we go through a home on the first time and start running appliances, wash machines, that kind of thing. I'm just basically looking to make sure that the kitchen has all the appliances that you would expect, kind of get an idea whether they're new or how long they've had them. As you can see, these are stainless steel with double, they look like LGs. And one of the things I notice and I look for is, are the appliances mismatched? Because that also gives me an idea of what's going on. So I'm coming to the middle and I see we have a range here. Okay, and it's Whirlpool. So that I know that the homeowner has replaced the other appliances except for the range here. So that's just something to keep in mind. So this is probably original with the house, or maybe, 8, 9, 10 years old, something of that sort. Okay, still could work. Homeowners are not required to replace items that work, but it's just something that I as an agent will let you know as a buyer that, hey, the range is older than the rest of the appliances, so keep that in mind. Now, when also in the kitchen, what I do is also, this is where I take my first look at the backyard, okay? Whether it's level, whether it's hilly, sloped in one direction, how are the neighbors' yards? Are they sloping toward your yard, which we call a flood situation? And one thing that it's not as common, but I've noticed right there, I'm gonna see if I can zoom in on it. In this neighborhood, they have a drain system that's in the middle of, let's say, it looks like 4, 5, 6 yards. And they're all sloping to this drain system. So the builder has actually thought about that and made sure that all the yards are slightly sloping away from the home, and it's going into a drain system. So there should not be any flooding here. The grass on all the homes look pretty well. That means the soil drains good. It means they're getting enough moisture from rainwater or watering from the homeowners. So that's a good idea that they put that drain system in. So I think that would be a benefit for you. The yard here is in great shape as well, and relatively flat with a slight slope away from the home, which is what you want. That keeps the basement safe, okay? All right, so again, I look at the ceilings and I'm looking at the floors. As a buyer's agent, home is beautiful, so that's what you're gonna notice. I don't see anything that stands out, even though I do look at the fireplace, gas log. I look at the glass on the wall, make sure there's no cracks, because that's gonna affect the way it works as far as fumes, exhaust, smells, etc. And the thing to keep in mind on these fireplaces is that there really are more or less, you have to treat it for looks. Do not treat the fireplaces for heat, especially if it's a gas log system. Wood burning back in the day, yeah, you could really heat a room up with wood. But nowadays it's more of an aesthetic. Some people want them, some not. But again, look for it as being a situation to provide ambiance as opposed to heat, okay? Again, I'm looking at the windows, no cracks, no seals broken. That's a positive. All right. So now we'll head upstairs. When I go upstairs to the bedrooms, the upstairs is the most important part for me as an agent from the interior, because this is where any damage from the roof is going to show in the bedrooms, and it's going to show in the ceilings. Okay. So again, apologize for my unsteadiness with the camera. Turn on some lights here. Typically I go into the primary room. Because of fair housing and some things in our area, we no longer we don't use the term master bedroom anymore, or master bathroom in Northern Virginia. We will say primary. And that was a recent change that we've added to our MLS. Many of it started during the, I would say the movements, maybe Black Lives Movement and some others, but I don't know. It just something was a change. I never took offense to it. I mean, I knew what it meant. It meant the room that was the main room of the home. Master as in term of Mr. Because that term was used a lot, but other people took it the other way. But neither here nor there. We now call this the primary bedroom. All right. And again, main thing I'm looking for, obviously, making sure that the room matches what's expected for this price range and size home, which it does. But more importantly, I'm taking a look at the ceilings. No leaks, no stains, no cracks. So that means the roof is doing its job. Okay. Now, as we leave the primary bedroom, obviously we're going to look at closets and that type of stuff. Again, that's going to be personal preference. Everyone has their issues about what they expect for closet size, spacing, etc. Closet with a window is not hugely common, but when you see that, that means at least you'll have some natural light coming in to both closets. Okay. One of the next important bathroom areas in a home, of course, is the primary bathroom. So again, you're going to look at it as far as, whether you like tubs, showers, that's going to be your own personal preference. A couple things that I look for. Number one, I go to the shower and I look for the caulking. That talks to maintenance of the property. So the caulking looks pretty good. All right. So I know that the homeowner has taken care and maintained the property with proper caulking. Bathroom, real nice. Again, I noticed just one thing here, which is just to remind you as far as sometimes cracks and stuff will happen when people sitting on this base here may cause that crack, and just something for you to be mindful of. And we'll bring it up at the due time if this is a house that makes the buyer's final list. But I'm taking middle notes as far as some of the things I noticed. In Virginia and in most states, homes are sold as is. That means there's no requirement for a resale home to be perfect. Even new construction, even though it's new, is not perfect. So cosmetic items are typically not something that is brought up in discussion for negotiating on terms. Now, if a home's $2 million or more, sometimes you'll have discussions where the buyer will ask the seller to paint a certain room or do something like that, or change the carpet because they don't like the color. But those items don't come up unless it's very, very expensive homes where that's part of the discussion. On a typical home in our area, we're not going to bring up cosmetic items. Okay? All right, so again, looking at the backyard from the rear, just so you have an idea as far as what you like, what you want to see. On the primary level, the only thing I look at is how many rooms or windows are facing the primary bedroom. So that I just remind my buyers, as in any case, you want to make sure that you use curtains or some type of blockage of the windows for your privacy. There are some bedrooms in some neighborhoods where there's nothing facing you, so then it's not a concern. So I would just bring that up. How close are the beds, the other windows for the neighbors' homes to your bedroom? Okay? All right. Now, I repeat the same conversation in every room. Walls, ceiling, bathrooms. Checking them out. And occasionally, I'm listening also for the toilets to be running. Okay? And in walking through the home, another thing that I notice is whether or not I hear anything as I move across the floor. Or is there a transition where when I step on it, I hear the floor moving, things of that sort. Check the exhaust fans. Okay. And exhaust fans are important because bathrooms without exhaust fans will collect moisture, and you're going to typically will have some issue down the road, either with mildew, paint. Bacteria grows easier because you basically have a moist atmosphere that allows bacteria and viruses to continue to grow. So that's important in the bathroom. And I'll click those on and make sure they work. Obviously with this vent, that's a return. So if the return is in the ceiling, I know there's a unit in the attic. So that's something that we're not going to check while we're looking at the property, but during the inspection, I'm going to have as a note, let's go in the attic, let's check that system, make sure that's working properly. Now, another thing, we have a washer and dryer unit that's on the bedroom floor. Again, personal preference. Some people like it, some people rather have it in the basement. That's your decision. But in either case, if it's on this level, I'm checking certain things. There's the pan area where the water would leave from the washing machine. So if the washing machine had a failure, there's usually a pan that will collect the water, and then that water will go down that pipe that you see right there on the floor. Since this house does not have a pan, or the pan was removed, that's something that I would remind you is like if you buy your system, make sure you get a pan to cover that so you're safe in case of a pipe breakage, etc. And also the thing that I would remind my clients is don't use these black rubber, change to a stronger type of piping that is less prone to failure, okay? In this home, this is the access for the attic, all right? And because I see hand marks, fingerprints, etc., I would also tell my client, let's check that area to find out what maybe have gone on in the past, because I see that it's gotten some usage. Could just be storage and they just recently moved out. But again, that's something that I put on my notepad to remind myself, hey, let's check that, okay? So that's pretty much what I do on every, just looking at the ceilings, looking at the caulking around the bathrooms, and then checking to see if there's a return in the ceiling for the second AC unit or heating unit as well, all right? Now we're gonna head down to the basement area. All right, okay. All right, so we have an open basement. There's no door transition, so it's an open area, which is fine, but just keep in mind, without a door here, heating or cooling will be able to go between both levels a little bit more easier. So that's something to keep in mind. When there's no door blocking it off, you are gonna have a more transition for heating and cooling. So this one's, all right, so we've got a mechanical room is back here. Let me see, get a light here. Okay, so again, this is an area where I really do a lot more looking as a buyer agent, because in here, what I'm looking for is it a gas hot water system or electric? It's a gas heating system. I also look at the, for heating and cooling. So we have a gas furnace. AC unit's going to be sitting on top of that. And then I'm looking for a sump pump. This is good. Another thing that I look for is that the drainage from the AC unit is tied into the floor, so it's able to drip out. So that's good for condensation that collects from the AC unit, goes that direction. Yep, and wraps around, so that's fine. I'm also looking for a sump pump, if it has it. Some properties have a sump pump, some do not. This one does. All right, so the sump pump is great because what it does is that there's usually a system around the foundation of the property. So excess water collects in that system, comes to this pump, which is under the home, and then it's then pumped out of the house. So that helps prevent flooding in the basement, in the foundation of the home. Okay, and I look for the main water valve shut off. So this is just really for me to be able to tell the homeowner what to look for, what to expect, and what they need to check. And then also look in the ceilings and make sure I don't see any cracked beams, that kind of stuff. Again, these are things that I'm looking for as a buyer agent that you may not be thinking of, because you're looking at how you're going to place furniture, whether the house looks good to you, etc. I'm looking for possible issues, but it has the things that you'd want. Matter of fact, oh yeah, it has an expansion tank on it. That's good. That helps with the excess gas being released created by the heated water. So it holds to this. That's good. Yep. So everything looks like it's in order. Again, we'll check it all with the inspection. But again, me looking at it initially to kind of have an idea of what to be concerned with. Okay. Again, apologize for the camera. Now we're just walking to the main level of the basement. And what I look here in the basement is that this basement is below ground. So when it's below ground, you're not going to have any full-size windows. Okay. So what I'm looking for, are these windows holding up? Is there leaks coming in? Are the walls dry? And everything in this house is in order. But again, I'm looking, and then this window's right underneath the steps. So I want to make sure that there's no other water's not coming in, because where the steps meet the house, sometimes that creates a barrier where water will drip in behind it. Okay. So other than it needing being clean, it's all there. It's all in good shape. Okay. And then going to the sliding glass door, I do the same thing. Since it's a below ground basement, you're going to have stairs, walk up and out. All right? So we want to make sure that the concrete and the drain level is below the entry level, which it is. Okay? So that way water's not going to come into the basement. Now snow, if snow was accumulating and set there for a while, yes, there's a possibility that snow could melt and come back in, but that's something as a homeowner, you know, you would need to check. You want to make sure that drain there stays clear. But those are the things I'm looking for as a buyer agent. Stairways, you got railings which are required. Anytime you have more than 3 steps, you have to have a railing outside. So that's there. Windows look good. Okay. And there's another thing in the basements is that also you cannot legally call a room a basement in Northern Virginia. Let me see if I can find some lights here. Unless it has 3 things. A door, full door, so it has that. A closet, which it has. But the third thing it's missing is a window. There must be a window that you can climb out of in case of fire. So this is an additional room. Someone can use it as a bedroom, but legally, it is not counted as a bedroom in Northern Virginia. So just keep that in mind. When you're looking at listings online and you see that they have, you know, 5 bedrooms and you visit the property and there's only 4, and they're like, oh yeah, well, we're counting the room in the basement. Well, they can't count that room unless it has a window that you can climb out of. It could be a half a window with a ladder. As long as you can get your shoulders through, they count it. A full window, a closet, and a door. Okay? So that's it. So I apologize for the length of the video, but I just wanted to show you what kind of things that as a buyer agent I'm considering, what I'm looking for when I'm showing properties. All right, so I'm walking out. So I just wanted to, you know, share that information with you. If you ever have any questions about a house or anything, selling, buying, give me a call. 20 years of experience in Northern Virginia as a licensed agent. Carlos Noel, thank you for listening.